Hello students, this is Ms. Tran. Today we are going to be looking at literary devices, which is a review of what we already know. So let's take a look prior to completing the worksheet that will be posted on Google Classroom. Here we go. Starting with personification. Personification is when you use human qualities to describe objects that technically don't move or think like humans. For example, the water on the lake shivered. The water can't shiver like a human. Shiver means when you're shaking uncontrollably because it's so cold. Technically, water doesn't have the ability to do that, but here personification is used to make it seem like it's moving as if it's really cold. Similarly, another example is the sunlight danced. Can the sun actually dance? Not really. The sun, it's shining in a way that makes it look like it's dancing. So the sentence means that it's really sunny, it's bright outside, but it's using personification to convey that meaning. The next example is alliteration. Alliteration is a fun word because it means that you have that repeated sound at the start of each word in a sentence, and it has to be a consonant sound. Take a look at this example. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. The same sound that's being repeated is that letter P to give it that rhythm as you're reading it out loud. Third example is a pun. A pun is a fun one to use because it's a play on words. Puns are typically used as jokes, and in order to understand these jokes, you need to be able to understand how they differ in spelling, sound, or meaning. For instance, a boiled egg every morning is hard to beat. This is a pun because eggs are beaten with a whisk in order to turn them to scrambled eggs. So the pun here is understanding the meaning, that double meaning of the word beat. The second example is a bicycle can't stand on its own because it is too tired. Too tired here, as used in the sentence, means that it has two wheels. But the other meaning could mean that it's physically tired, in which the two would be spelled as T-O-O. Next example is more about puns, and in order to really understand them, they have double meanings and spellings. So for instance, math teachers have lots of problems. Problems could mean two things. One, it could mean math equations or puzzles, or two, it could mean that you have troubles or difficulties going on in your mind. So that's the double meaning about that pun there with the word problem. Another example is, I have a penny. The cent is rusty. This one is more a pun about spelling. On one hand, cent could mean the value of a penny, or it could also mean the smell. So that's a play on words with the spelling of the word cent. Interesting there. Metaphor is a device that we all are very familiar with, and it's when you compare two things without using like or as. You're saying that one thing is the other. For instance, he has a stone heart. That means that he's not emotional, he has no feelings, he's a very cold person. Or another one, which was used in Shakespeare's play, As You Like It, all the world is a stage. This basically means that in the world, you're constantly putting on performances. So the world and the stage are two things that are being compared without using like or as. Simile in comparison is when you're using a comparison between two things that have like or as in the sentence. Examples include the metal twisted like a ribbon, and she is as sweet as candy, meaning she's a very nice person. Symbolism is when you have a word, object, or idea that represents a deeper meaning than what is shown on the surface or what first comes to your mind. So a story that we read earlier in the year back in October was The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. And the heart, as a symbol, represents the man's guilt. Finally, theme is an underlying message in the story. So in order to really get theme, you have to dig deep. What is the moral or message that the reader is supposed to take away? In the story The Outsiders, one of the themes is that we should not take things in life for granted, so constantly staying gold. Those are the literary devices that are going to be used in your narrative or short poem by the end of this unit, so make sure you take the time to review this video again and also complete the worksheet for the review of literary devices.